Alright everybody, it's Panek here with another Panek Reacts video. We're gonna skip the Panek's Gift of Knowledge series yet again, just for another week. Today I'm bringing you the part 2 of the NBA player comparisons for every top pick in the 2020 NBA draft. It's Treese's video, Treese's first video I already reviewed. There are a few people in the comments that wanted a part 2 to this, so this is part 2, so let's get going. We're gonna head right into it.
What's good, everybody? It's Treese, and this is now part 2 of this short series.
As you heard him, this is part 2.
2020 NBA draft prospects to current or former NBA players. So, if you want to
the
see
link to this video will be in the description.
Prospects, then make sure to check out part 1. And before I get into
go support this man's grind.
The comparisons for this video, I would just like to quickly mention that I upload basketball and NBA related videos every 3 days, so make sure to subscribe if you
don't already subscribe to him. Subscribe to me as well.
50k subscribers, and we are now on the road to 60k. And also, leaving a like is a very kind way of conveying that you enjoy watching these videos.
Liking also helps that algorithm and shows it to like 20 more people.
Make sure to also join our Discord server where we talk all sorts of basketball. That'll be at the top of the description. And that all out of the way, let's get into the very first comparison. The first player that we will be comparing is Isaac Okoro, and his NBA player comparison is Matisse Thybulle. I like the comparison. I like Thybulle a lot as a player. Thybulle, if you pronounce it that way. Okoro is a really good player too. He's nice and athletic. As I said in the previous video, it remains to be seen. It's always going to be a mystery in the shot in the dark in terms of these prospects. You want to see if he develops a three-point shot. If he develops a three-point shot and becomes 3-and-D, that's what you're looking for in the NBA. Very skeptical about the upside of Isaac Okoro. I love the way that he competes, contributes on defense, and brings energy to the game. Besides a jump shot, he is very fluid on offense and brings a lot on that end in terms of being unselfish and attacking the rim.
Worst case, he'll be a nice bench piece.
Okoro has the athleticism
like a small Alfredo Camino,
not just amongst other wings in the draft class, but in the NBA period. This all being said, I do think that Isaac Okoro has gotten away for a large portion of his basketball career without having a serviceable jump shot. Now, like I said, as a prospect, Isaac Okoro brings so much to the table other than his lack of shooting. And shooting is one of those things that can be worked on heavily by prospects with the right work ethic, which I think that Isaac Okoro has. But as of right now,
like I said, work ethic is what's going to separate you.
Now, Thybulle only
everybody's made it to the NBA at this point.
Past year and averaged just under 5 points per game.
Keep working your ass off.
We don't really know what his ceiling is looking like right now, but for anybody who actually watches the 76ers play, you would know that his impact goes far beyond his per game numbers, and he has a very bright future in the league, similar to Isaac Okoro, who in my opinion has a reasonably high ceiling. He might not impact the game on the offensive end in the same way you want your wing to do so as a top draft pick, but his impact speaks for itself. I could go on about how the praise that Okoro is getting is wildly similar to Stanley Johnson, who is supposed to be what many are projecting Isaac Okoro to be right now, and I do think that there are plenty of red flags that turn me to believing that his ceiling might be over-exaggerated due to similar ways as Stanley Johnson's ceiling was, but Isaac Okoro will be an above average role player in his prime, and he will contribute from day one because of the versatility that he displays on the defensive end, added to the energy he brings to every single game. The next prospect that we will be comparing
I like Okongwu a lot.
Okongwu, whose NBA player comparison is Bam Adebayo. This comparison is by far one of the
I like that comparison a lot. I think they have like a very similar skill set coming out. Okongwu, I didn't really watch. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch much of Bam when he came out. I knew Bam was gonna be like a high energy player. I didn't see Bam being this good, but Okongwu, I really do like a lot as a prospect. I believe he played at Chino Hills with the Ball brothers originally.
The most common ones that you will hear when discussing prospect comparisons for the 2020 NBA draft class. It almost makes too much sense. Okongwu, like Bam, is a very athletic, a bit undersized center / power forward whose value comes in his ability to guard almost all positions, and most importantly, against the pick and roll. which has become one of the most frequently used tactics in the modern NBA. Okongwu himself believes that he does have the versatility to guard all positions on the basketball court, and that's also what the footage of Okongwu backs up as well. And what I think many people are forgetting about Onyeka Okongwu is that
that's great versatility.
Narrowed down to a defensive juggernaut, as he scored more points than Bam in college, shot a better percentage from the floor, and even grabbed more rebounds, all in just 30 seconds of playing time more per game. Okongwu's 16 points per game in college did come from around the basket, like almost only from around the basket. Every once in a while he displayed a reasonable mid-range shot.
If he develops a jumper, he's going to be gross, and like in a good way, like nasty.
And he really does want to expand like Bam Adebayo has already in his early NBA career, then Onyeka Okongwu will need to start practicing his jumper, as that is something that Bam has worked on and improved there as well. And though you don't see him spotting up for threes, he's being considered a top 5 and sometimes even a top 3 center in the league without a three-pointer. And I see no reason as to why Okongwu can't as well, because both young centers might lack a few inches and a three-pointer, but everything else that they bring to the table as big men impacts in ways that 99% of the league centers can't. And that's why I and so many others are so high on Okongwu's ceiling, and the return of big men who can't quite shoot like stretch bigs but can hold up with guards and quicker players on the perimeter.
I agree with his research. This one's gonna be a nice one. I like Denny a lot, but I agree with his comparison. I agree with his analysis. So far we were 2 for 2 together.
Third prospect that we will be comparing is Deni Avdija, and his NBA player comparison is Bojan Bogdanovic, but Luka Doncic as a playmaker. Deni Avdija is, in my opinion, one of the hardest players to make a comparison for. His playmaking is unmatched by other.
You could never tell with those EuroLeague guys.
Is criminally underrated because of where he comes from. His three-pointer isn't as good as many people think it is, but he has changed his jumper and it looks much smoother than it did this past season for Maccabi Tel Aviv. And although he hasn't quite shown that he could be the wildly effective scorer that some of the other top prospects can, it is really hard to measure that during his limited time.
If he could be like a jack of all trades, that'd be nice.
Season. But when playing in the Israeli league, he shot nearly 53% from the floor and a solid 35% from 3 on over 4 a game, while scoring nearly 13 points a night. And remember, this competition he's playing with is no joke, as this past season, both Omari Stoudemire and Quincy Acey were lacing up for his club. And Avdija as a teenager, suiting up against former D1 and NBA players, really substantiates my high praise on his upside. And although it will
but the thing about that is you can't necessarily like compare them to current NBA players. I mean, they have the NBA pedigree because, you know, Amari played and he was very good in his prime. Quincy Acey is, I don't know if he was ever a starter. I mean, I think he was, but I mean, he's played with people that were smart enough. Maybe if they like vouch for him and are like, yeah, this kid's gonna be really good or something like that. But even that doesn't even really matter.
Before Avdija earns trust.
I like Deni Avdija a lot. So my favorite player, as probably some of you know in the comments, is Russell Westbrook. My favorite player of all time is Russell Westbrook. He went to the Wizards. Denny's on the Wizards. I'm gonna have a lot of chances to watch Denny, so I'm kind of excited. I want to see what he's got.
25-minute per game restriction for his rookie year, and his minutes will gradually improve thereafter as his game progresses. But once Avdija has become more comfortable in the NBA, the league is in for a scary sight. Luka's playmaking in itself is enough for him to get plenty of minutes on the court, and Avdija will follow suit at least in that regard, and the rest of his game will follow. The fourth prospect that I will be comparing is Anthony Edwards, and his NBA player comparison is Victor Oladipo. This is
I can really see it. When Oladipo was coming out, I didn't think he was going to be the scorer that he is now. He's definitely flourished. When you were looking when Oladipo came out, he was in the number 2 overall pick. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever saw him becoming what he is now, but if Anthony Edwards can get like close to what Oladipo is, then the T-Wolves got a good pick.
Another player comparison that you will hear quite often.
I think he's like a D-Wade light.
That Anthony Edwards' upside is more like a Dwayne Wade.
I think he's like a D-Wade light.
I would love to have another Dwayne Wade type of 2 guard back in the NBA, I just don't fully see the connections. Edwards is a better 3-point shooter right now than Wade probably ever was, but everything else, it just doesn't really fully
He doesn't play make. He doesn't play defense as good as Wade.
And I'm not here to claim that
he's got a lot of upside though.
Dwayne Wade level, but I'm not going to set the bar quite that high for Anthony Edwards just yet. I think that as of right now,
he's very streaky. It's just a shot selection though.
Compromise between Edwards haters and those who think he will become the next Dwayne Wade. And remember, this is a prime Oladipo we're talking about, pre-injury Oladipo. He didn't quite reach superstar status in the NBA, but he was borderlining that level, and I think that Anthony Edwards could borderline that superstar level for several years in the league, and possibly grasp it for 1 year in his prime. He's got great energy and the basketball mentality that you want from a freak athlete to guard, and he has all the tools, even on defense, and from what I understand,
hopefully he doesn't end up like a Ben McLemore.
So let's hope that he does reach that Dwayne Wade level, regardless of how unrealistic it sounds.
Macklemore.
The next NBA player comparison will be for Saddiq Bey, and his NBA player comparison is a prime Rudy Gay. Saddiq Bey.
I didn't see much of Saddiq Bey
that we once saw with Rudy in his earlier days.
I heard he's really good though.
As a versatile scorer, Saddiq Bey asserts himself with the best of the 2020 NBA draft class. Saddiq Bey is one of those guys that I have really grown to like as a player, and I really do think that he has gone quite underrated in this class. We're talking about a 6'8" guy who shot a ridiculous 45% from 3 in this past season, who also boasts a near 7-foot wingspan. His smooth and quick stroke on his jumper will allow him to get it off at really any time that he wants, and this reminds me of Rudy Gay, who is built very similarly and has a very similar playstyle as well.
I can see it.
Is a bit more unselfish than Rudy Gay was during his prime, and I think that his jump shot is even more effective than Rudy's, but you could only get so close when comparing these prospects, and I think that the Rudy Gay one is just about as close as they get. I feel really good about Saddiq Bey.
I think in terms of like all the comparisons, I think the Rudy Gay one is probably going to be like the most accurate of all the comparisons this guy's done, because to me Rudy Gay was like a really athletic, like slightly above average NBA player. He had like did he hover around 20 points? I think he hovered around 20 points in his prime. Was he ever a number one option? I mean, if he was on a crap team, but I think when DeRozan was developing, he was on the Raptors with DeRozan. So I mean, I could see Saddiq Bey. I mean, I have high hopes. If he turns into Rudy Gay where they picked him, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice pickup.
The league, and don't be surprised if we look back at him as a draft steal one day. So unfortunately, I'm bound to get many of these comparisons wrong, but it is just fun to make out what the future of these players will look like. And remember, this.
Okay, everybody, go down in the comment section. Tell me if you want, because he's got a part 3. I don't know if he has any more parts after that. Go down in the comment section. Tell me if you want part 3 of me talking about his video. As always, if you want to see his original video, it's going to be down in the description. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And look down there. You see down there that it's Panek on Twitch, Twitter, and then Panek on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, sub on YouTube. Do what you gotta do. Hit me on my socials, man. Other than that, everybody have a good rest of your day, and Panek out.